But you certainly had a great song that came out in 1998, Wine in the Water.
Wine in the Water. That was a good one, and they put that out, and it was a pretty big hit everywhere they played it. They didn't play it all over the United States, and it was on a independent label, so it's just hard when you're on a small label like that. It's hard to compete with the RCAs and
sure,
the Warner Brothers and all those guys have a lot more money, so it takes money these days. That's what it's really all about.
Yeah, but
it's sad. It's not about the music, really. It's about how big of a budget the record company, how much money they want to spend, because that's the way they get them played. It's sad to say, but
mostly marketing.
That's the way it works.
But still, it went to the #1 on the Christian country music chart.
Yeah, it was a hit. It was a hit, but it never got played in. I don't think it ever got played in Los Angeles or Chicago or some of the big metropolitan areas.
Yeah, and it was also awarded the #1 independent music video of the year for everyone out there who didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a good deal. They gave me the Artist of the Year for the Christian Country Music Association. We had a lot of fun with it, and we get a lot of requests for it. We still do it every night in our shows, and it's been a good one.
I remember back in July when I saw you down at Dollywood the last time, they had just brought the house down.
It always gets a great reaction, man. It's I think it's something that appeals to everybody in one way or another.
Now, you were one of the writers of that song. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the story behind it?
Well, a friend of mine, Bruce Burks, that co-wrote it with me, was cutting his grass one day and had the idea of wine into water. It's just a twist on water into wine.
Mm-hmm.
And we got together, and I had really started drinking too much, and it just kind of fell out of the sky. I think we wrote it in 2 writing sessions, maybe. We took a break and came back and finished it up and put it out, and it just hit a chord with people. Ted Hewitt was the other writer on it, and I can't remember who all. Ted's producing a couple of acts now that are having hits, and I can't remember who all he's producing. And Bruce Birch has started a music business school at the University of Georgia, where we went to college, and they're both doing great. So we're old veterans, man. We've been doing this a long time.
And that song is so poetic, and it seems like it could apply to just about anybody out there. And any of you took a handful of people, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, so, it just hits a chord with everybody in one way or another. Whether it's somebody they're related to or whatever. It's wild. That song's been a good one.
There's so many times I've hurt the ones I've loved. I pushed them to the edge of giving up. They've stood by me, but how much can they stand? If I don't put this bottle in your hands, it's just a fabulous song, fabulously written and fabulously recorded and.
Oh, thank you, man.
Performed. You're very welcome, and we're going to hear that in just a little bit.
Sometimes I forget the power of a song. You get wrapped up in touring and all this other stuff you have to do, and sometimes you forget the power of music, and it's good to be reminded of that.
Mm-hmm. When I'm sitting in the audience and you're singing that song, I can see tears coming down people's faces, and it's really moving.
Yeah, well, it is that, and it's just been a blessing.
And so, here, let's talk a little bit about some country music awards here. You were nominated in 1987, 89, and 1990, and you won in 1992 for the Vocal Event of the Year, right?
Yeah, that was really fun, too.
With the good old George Jones.
Yeah, we all got in the studio. It seems like it was Fanfare. Sheila, was it Fanfare when we recorded? It was during Fanfare, and everybody was in town, and we went over to a studio called Woodland Studios, and oddly enough, that's where I tell it like it used to be. So I just thought of that. But there was a lot of us in the room at the same time that did that. It was a lot of fun. I can't remember who all. Seemed like Vince Gill and Patty Loveless and Clint Black maybe and Travis Tritt and I can't remember who all was on it, but it was a lot of us and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I Don't Need Your Rocking Chair is a great song.
That's it, and it was written by Billy Yates, and Sheila, my wife, just got home from having a meeting with Billy Yates, so it's funny, all this, we're talking about all this stuff.
It sure is. And you've also made some appearances in films, too.
Yeah, but not much. If you blink, you'll miss me.
Greased Lightning and Cursed in 1988, A Heartbreak Hotel.
Now, that was the most fun. Well, Greased Lightning was a lot of fun because I got to be around Richard Pryor a lot, and that was a lot of fun. And Heartbreak Hotel was a blast too. We went to Austin and did that, and stayed out there a couple of weeks. And my band played Elvis's band. It was about Elvis. And David Keith, a friend of mine, played Elvis, and they hired my band to be Elvis's band, so we all got to be in it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, who did you play in the movie, T?
A guy named Jerry Schilling. He's a real-life friend of Elvis's. They called themselves the Memphis Mafia.
Mm-hmm. And your band was named the Hard Tops back then, right?
Yeah, they sure were, the Hard Tops.
But now your band's the Mighty Rack of Spam, if I'm correct.
The Mighty Rack of Spam, yes. The Mighty Rack. It used to be just the Rack of Spam, and they wanted a raise, and I couldn't afford a raise, so I gave them a title.